This is Jonathan Ferguson, the Keeper of Firearms and Artillery at the Royal Armouries Museum in the UK, which houses a collection of thousands of iconic weapons from throughout history. And on this week's episode, we're showing Jonathan the wonder weapons from our recent poll winner, Call of Duty Zombies.
I don't think Cthulhu-esque monsters appreciate having a hand up the back of them, but I don't know, maybe they do. Oh, hello. We're sticking one gun to the other. You'd be shooting through a gun. Doesn't really make much sense. Right, we have the Kraken. Oh, good lord. This is the triple-barreled Gatling cannon from Pirates of the Caribbean.
We've got plenty more Call of Duty episodes in the works in the lead up to Black Ops 6, so make sure to subscribe to avoid missing those. And of course, let us know what other games you'd like to see us cover in the comment section down below. Right, over to Jonathan.
I think I've played this incarnation of Zombies, but definitely never saw this gun. It's very on brand for COD Zombies. I think we've got 4 barrels, presumably 12 gauge shotgun barrels going off at once here. As I think I've said before, we don't have any quad barrel shotguns because these crop up in games occasionally. I think I may have shown you before. I cheated slightly. We have a quad barrel Lancaster rifle. There's the triple threat shotgun. There's a triple barrel. So there's a very good reason why you don't want 3 or 4 barrels on a shotgun. A couple exist with 3. 4 shotgun barrels is literally overkill. Design-wise, this thing's curious. We have the 2 top barrels are intruding into the 2 bottom barrels. In other words, there's metal missing from the tops of the bottom barrels, such that the top barrels are sitting into them, I guess to make the whole thing a bit flatter in profile. But you don't really want to do that. Okay, that's actually pretty thoughtful, pretty clever, because you would need this. You've got 4 barrels that are quite far apart. The 4 rounds, so we're not trying to do a Doom Guy double load, but 4 shells. Wouldn't really work. We have got some sort of a speed loader device around the rims of the cartridges that's being used to dump them in. It's going a little fast for me to see. I'm assuming, it has to detach and then just kind of vanish away and leaves the cartridges in the chambers. Point is, there's been some thought put into how this thing would actually work, which I do appreciate.
Oh, of course. Leave it to the Nazis to create a weapon that literally spells out die. Do you think they even knew they were the baddies?
Can I just briefly appreciate the Mitchell and Webb reference there?
Are we the baddies?
It's obviously a very weird thing, but the main premise is that it sucks the life force of zombies up, charges the weapon, and then emits a shockwave.
It's always a bit difficult to comment on weapons like this. It becomes more of a sort of design commentary, and I'm no artist. It's that trope it's the BFG trope, isn't it? We have the bullet firing guns, we have a recognizable directed energy weapon like the plasma gun, and then we have the big thing that's just pipes and some sort of gauge, often bellows or widgets, greeblies. We don't really know what it is in many ways. It's some sort of weapon and it fires a big old blast of energy. It's another one of those. Maybe it's not the ultimate level clearing weapon like the BFG 9000 is, but to me that's what this is. It is gun adjacent. Right, we have the Kraken. Oh, good lord. This is the triple-barreled Gatling cannon from Pirates of the Caribbean. Complete nonsense in the movie, complete nonsense here, but it's a lot of fun. I like it. I like it despite myself. I have more time for things designed from scratch to be ridiculous, I think, than I do stuff modified to be ridiculous. I'm not sure what we've got some sort of... okay. It's a cannonball carousel on the... which would be a great name for a band. On the side of the weapon, so it's somehow a breech-loading gun, even though the guns are set up like they're muzzle loaders. I like the sort of rough cast look of them. Well, actually no, I don't think it's that. I think they're meant to have been under the water for a period of time by the look of it, because there's some quite detailed decoration there. And then the guns themselves look to have pitted from corrosion. So I can see the carousel turning, and I can see the barrels turning. I can't see how the balls make it into the guns. The balls also are too small bore for the gun bores, It looks pretty good from first-person view. You can't really see how it'd be loading anyway. The gold tentacle decoration is cool.
What is this? Note to self. Avoid death by interdimensional shred.
I don't think Cthulhu-esque monsters appreciate having a hand up the back of them, but I don't know, maybe they do. That's a lot of eyes. It's not the optimum number of eyes as far as I'm concerned.
I hadn't even heard of this weapon, and then when we did a poll about featuring COD Zombies, one of the top comments was, "Oh, I hope they feature this gun." I was like, "What is that?" And I saw this grotesque eye-filled monstrosity, and I was like, "Yeah, we'll show Jonathan."
I mean, the only thing it doesn't have is human teeth on it. Other than that, it has massive, dare I say, ick factor. Tentacles, face hugger / spider-esque arachnoid legs, weird kind of sea creature tendrily things at the bottom, and then what look to be reptilian eyes, which is kind of weird, and one of them staring right at you, even in first-person view.
There's a fairly uncommon but present theme of first-person shooters allowing you to stick your hand up the back of something horrendous from outer space.
It's true, actually. We have detected a theme.
Of all the things Half-Life is the sort of gaming godfather of, this is one of the lesser-known elements.
Monkey bomb going hot. Enemy appears KIA.
Ah, monkey bombs. I remember these. Always try to use them for comedy value, if nothing else.
Yeah, not strictly a wonder weapon, but...
I don't know. I think if the Nazis had deployed toy drum cymbal banging monkey bombs in the Second World War, I think there'd have been a fair amount of wonder. Does bring to mind the, I think it was an American plan, wasn't it, for bat bombs, where they'd strap incendiary bombs to some poor innocent bats and use them to destroy thatched buildings in Japan. I may have mangled that story. Can't really comment on the bomb itself. This is much more detailed than the version I last used, with some sticks of TNT, presumably, and some sort of detonators leading to what seems like a push-button switch, which is odd. I'm guessing that's somehow wired into the clockwork mechanism. It's a very detailed duct tape holding the sticks and the switch together. Oh, his little hat bounces up and down as well. Ugh! This is like the Elysium AK on steroids. This thing, in a weird way, I don't know, it might be a better design. It has more going on. They've taken the lower receiver, the trigger mechanism, the buttstock, that whole bit, and then they've essentially grafted on, and the magazine attachment as well. They've grafted on some kind of energy weapon to it. So it's more like using, I don't know the backstory of this weapon, if it indeed has one, but it feels like, I don't know, a weapon mounted to something else, or some experimental thing, maybe? Yeah, actually, more likely someone has built it on an existing gun chassis, as it were, for convenience of holding it and loading the rounds and pulling the trigger. But it's essentially just a purple plasma pew-pew. But it has that AK heritage, which is interesting. Okay, this is very much 1930s, 40s Buck Rogers, Marvin the Martian disintegrator pistol. It's even called a ray gun.
The ray gun was the first weird gun to appear in Zombies, as far back as World at War, and it's in every Zombies game now, so it's become a piece of like Call of Duty Zombies history to have it included.
I vaguely remember there being a ray gun in Zombies, actually, but the reload is what's making me chuckle. We just drop the barrel down and shove something into it from the front, and it just flaps around. A little bit like a break-action shotgun, but feels less mechanically sound. What's very weird is the ring muzzle blast, which reminds me of the ion guns from Star Wars, kind of, or the stun weapon thing. When the character lurches forward and runs, that muzzle blast essentially hangs in the air and moves past you. It's quite strange. I think I'm more a fan of ejecting heat sinks or replacing batteries. I guess that's what's happening here, but why you have to flip the barrel down to reload it, I don't know. Something on the back would make sense, or in the middle, like the Fallout laser gun. I probably haven't played enough Zombies, but also I would have avoided this thing on principle, because I enjoy playing with more conventional, well, just gun things, really. Clearly tried to keep the same basic design with the big sort of flywheel housing looking thing on the back and sort of added to it. It's a bit busier than the other gun. The sort of hook claw things on the front, I'm not sure what they do. And we're two-handed on this, or the second hand is further forward at least, making it feel more like a sort of carbine. It does look chunkier and longer than the other one. Looks like there's a magazine of some kind of cartridges or sort of capsules of something, whether that's the energy, whether I assume they're batteries essentially. And there's no barrel on this. Well, it's kind of a barrel, but it doesn't have a hole, it doesn't have a bore in it, and then there are 3 electrode looking things that seem to focus the beam. Shrink ray, eh? Again, haven't run into this on COD or Zombies, but remember it fondly from Duke Nukem 3D. Well, I say fondly. I was always slightly disturbed by the idea of shrinking enemies and standing on them.
It's weird that a very out there weapon like a shrink ray has so many like real firearm details on it.
Agreed. Is that some sort of totem or magical item in the middle of it that's doing the shrinking?
Yeah, the gun just sort of exists to direct that.
It's weird that you sort of cock the object. I don't know what the little wavy fronds are. There's a drum of something that's being stuck on the bottom like a... I mean, it does have, overall, it has a sort of Papasha 41 vibe to it, with the sheet metal and the wooden stock and the drum on the bottom.
I think the stock is a direct lift from the China Lake as well.
That makes sense, actually. The green, I assume the green is jade, in which case I wondered if there was some Chinese influence in the design.
Yeah, so it only appears in the Shangri-La map. There is, Asian influence in its design and location.
Yeah, kind of loosely Asian. It's a big continent. But yeah, that stock is very grenade launcher, I think. Thundergun. Bit of a complicated reload for this, with the arms that flick up and down to retain it. Weirdly reminds me of the Lancer with that arm that comes up and sort of helps you hold the magazine in. Real guns don't do that. Now, this is obviously not a real gun, and neither is the Lancer, but that's based on a real one. This is its own thing. Quite a weird design. Well, looks conventional in the sense that it looks like a piece of industrial machinery. It's not wacky in that respect. Sends them flying there. Almost looks like a very big heat gun for heating things up.
This is called the Wunderwaffe
DG-2. I don't know what the DG stands for. The G might be Gewehr, I suppose. Oh, it's like a lightning gun, really. Sort of Nixie tube bulb-looking things on the side. They're cool. I always like a good analog switch with a cover, and this thing has one on the back. I don't think you get to see it used necessarily, but overall, it's very gunny. It's almost like a Hera Arms buttstock and foregrip. I'd lay money that that's what that's based on. And there's a sort of magazine and housing in the middle, and then it's wildly unconventional beyond that.
I think that aesthetic was unique to the Black Ops 4 one. They go back to sort of more steampunky traditional aesthetics in the other games. But yeah, seeing the Black Ops 4 version in third person, you could definitely see the Hera Arms sort of foregrip and things like that.
Albeit made of wood.
Yeah, it's like a modernized version of the, as the character says, Wunderwaffe.
There's even a sort of stylized, oversized, lower receiver magazine catch set up there, which would be awkward to use in reality. Not sure what a wave gun is. Kind of like an alternate ray gun, really. Oh, hello. We're sticking one gun to the other. Needless to say, there isn't really a historical or real-world firearm that you would attach to another firearm in that way, because you'd be shooting through a gun. Doesn't really make much sense. Closest thing I can think of is the Taser X-Rep shotgun, which shoots a shotgun round that's a self-contained taser that had the ability on the pump grip to mount a pistol taser as well. So you're kind of shoving one energy weapon, into another energy weapon, and you could shoot either. That's the closest you'll find. Yeah, the other weird quirk of this is your blue gun is the thing with the magazine, which is like a sort of pan drum thing, and the back half of your assembled gun doesn't need reloading, or at least it doesn't reload the same way.
A fountain of pain!
Thanks for watching, guys. Pretty weird stuff there, but if you know Call of Duty Zombies at all, you were expecting that. Even weirder than I thought, though, to be honest. Please check out our museums if you can, our real physical museums, our social media channels, the website in case of any events that crop up. Join us over on our YouTube channel if you'd like to. But we will be here again on GameSpot next week.